Hi, so my name is Carly, and I decided to do my child development project on a 17-year-old girl, and she's in college. So now I'm going to be showing you guys the video of my time spent with her.
Okay, Ari, I'm gonna have you balance on one leg and then do your other leg. Okay, perfect. Now you can stop now. Notice any changes in strength, endurance, or coordination this year?
I think I've gotten stronger just from lifting weights, and then probably endurance a little bit from doing conditioning stuff from the team.
Okay, the next question is how do you make decisions when there are pros and cons to both choices?
Usually if there's pros and cons, I try to weigh out which has more pros than the cons to see which is a better decision.
Okay. And then next question is what are your goals for the next few years?
For the next few years, I hope to gain some more knowledge, educational wise, and then probably just get stronger and faster in the weight room.
How do you cope with stress?
Usually I try to talk to my parents about it, or just try to talk it out, see what can I do to help it.
Do you feel comfortable expressing your emotions to others?
It definitely depends on who it is. I feel like sometimes I may not always want to express my emotions, so it just depends who the person is.
How do you handle disagreements or arguments with family or friends?
I think it definitely depends on what the disagreement is, but I think if it's my family, I definitely want to argue back. I feel like if it's friends, I might try to take a step back, see what can I do to resolve the argument.
Okay. How would you respond if someone was constantly pressuring you into drinking or smoking in a situation?
I think for the most part, I'm usually more I don't really let the pressure get to me because I don't know, it's not something that I would want to do, so I'm just pretty good with that.
So my teenager was able to balance on one leg very good, which is obviously typical for a 17-year-old with mature gross motor. So my teen was able to balance on one leg pretty well, which is very typical for, a 17-year-old. So that was expected. And then when I asked about her physical abilities, she told me that she had gotten stronger from lifting with her sport, and then her endurance has also improved from the conditioning that she does with her sport. And this all, meets the expectations of, physical development in late adolescence, because this is the time when teens are peaking with their strength and their athletic ability. So her involvement with the sports kind of supported her development with her strength and her coordination, along with her endurance as well. Next, for cognitive development, I asked her two questions, and asked her, how do you make decisions when there are pros and cons to both choices? And then I asked her, what are your goals for the next few years? And when I asked her the first question, she explained that she kind of weighs out her pros and cons, and then when she does that, that's how she decides which, decision is best. And this kind of just shows that she has basic reasoning skills and the ability to think abstractively. And then once I asked her, what her goals were for the next year, she shared that she wants to gain more education knowledge, and then she also wants to get stronger and faster in the weight room. And these responses show forward thinking, planning, and developing internal sense of motivation. And this kind of just reflects the appropriate cognitive development that she should have for her age, just showing her independence, critical thinking, and the long-term planning, which goes with wanting to get stronger and the goals that she had. And then next, for emotional development, I asked her two questions once again, and I asked her, how do you cope with stress, and do you feel comfortable expressing your emotions to others? So she said that she manages her stress by talking to her friends and just seeing if they can help her figure out what's going on and how to deal with it. And these responses just show her emotional awareness and regulation, which is typical in adolescents who are developing sophisticated coping strategies. So her being very selective with who she shares her emotions with kind of just shows that she has an understanding of boundaries and trust and social context, like who she wants to be around and who she trusts. It also just shows that she is developing stronger emotional connections with people, which is, you know, based on research, that is what is common at her age. Overall, her emotional development is very well for her age, and it shows her self-awareness, her vulnerability, and just her emotional intelligence that she should have at this age. And then lastly, for social development, I once again asked her another question, and then I kind of tried to put her in a little scenario and just ask her how she would react. So the first question was, how do you handle disagreements or arguments with family or friends? And then the little scenario that I tried to put her in was, how would you respond if someone was pressuring you to drink or smoke? So it's kind of a question in itself, but it's also just like a little scenario to put herself in. So she told me that she tends to argue back when it comes to her family, probably because she's just more closer with them, and then with friends she tends to like take a step back and like think about how to fix the situation. So this kind of shows that she has a good sense of social awareness, and she has the ability to kind of adjust how her behavior is, like based on the context that she is in, which, you know, with her peers she's more a reflection type of a person, and then, you know, with her family she doesn't really think that much, and it's just like whatever she's feeling comes out. She then said that peer pressure like doesn't tend to get hurt to her because she knows what she wants to do and she knows what she doesn't want to do, and she's good at like not letting that take control depending on if somebody else wants her to do something or not. So to me, this shows that she has a strong self-concept and sense of independence, along with just confidence in herself and her own choices, knowing that like what she wants to do is best and she doesn't need to follow in other people's footsteps. So all in all, like, her social development is very well for her age, and it's where it should be. So after doing all of this research on this 17-year-old girl, everything has aligned to be appropriate to where she should be at for her age. All of her social development, her emotional development, her cognitive development, and then her physical development, they all meet the standards that a normal 17-year-old girl should be at. So yeah, based on all of the questions I've asked her and everything that she responded with, everything looks good for her, and yeah.